There we are. So
Thank
yeah,
you for that.
no worries. Anyway, taking from our last session last week, we were discussing about how to use composable NFTs and possibly bringing them to Cardano. And from there, we decided to create a joint document where we would add things to that document. I think I have shared it with everyone here. For the guys that are new, basically composable NFTs are a design pattern that would allow an NFT to basically be able to be united, composed, or added to another pre-existing NFT or a different NFT. And the union of those two different NFTs would create a new different NFT, that, right? It's a separate entity. So for example, if I am in a crafting game, right? And I have to create a sword, let's say, then I need the blade, the pommel, the handle, and let's say those three things, right? To keep it simple. So if I get an NFT blade, an NFT pommel, or an NFT handle, I can combine those three, and the combination is going to give me the NFT sword, and the NFT sword is different to the components individually, right? And that way we can create different objects that combine with each other to create different functionalities and things like that. And that opens to different use cases for NFTs. Now, this is something that relatively popular on things like Solana and things like WaxChain and Ethereum, obviously, where there are a few collections of NFTs that are composable. And so far, there are none that have come into Cardano. This capability of doing this doesn't exist on Cardano. So we're trying to discuss of how to bring that here and possibly propose that on Fontaine. Is that clear?
I have the document. I am not sure. Do you other the guys have that document? And if not, could we share it again so that everybody could have access to it?
Yeah, I don't think I ever got it.
Okay. Yeah.
So jumping right into it, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So new question, just keeping it from the user's point of view. When you do get the three components and assemble your sword, what happens to the three individual NFTs? Do they disappear or do they get aggregated and persist in your wallet?
I would just yeah, the way it works on Ethereum is they get aggregated and they exist as portions of the new NFT, and you cannot separate it again. It's a one-way process.
Okay.
I'm not sure in Cardano how we would manage to do that, right? Because I mean, the thing is in Ethereum, you have access to the global state, right? Because it's an EVM. Now in Cardano, we don't have a global state. Everything is validated locally using the UTXO. So I don't know. We would need to compose the NFTs themselves and maybe validate them later or something like that.
What would validating mean?
That they have been used to create a larger object, let's say. So that cannot be reused again in another object.
So we're falling into the situation of what we can't do on chain, we'll have to do it on the back end, on our business logic. Is that it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to serve here as a new pair of eyes.
No
so
worries.
could we do something like, if this assembled NFT exists, it nullifies the other three to the eyes of our application? Is that how it would work?
I mean, it would appear that they are that exist jointly, right? So you can be sure that, for example, if you go back to the example of the sword, let's say there are blades that give you a fire attribute and there are blades that give you an ice attribute. So we need to keep track of that so that a larger NFT can keep those properties. So I don't know, to bring more functionality, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like for now, it would be on your wallet, you will still have just the three of them. Maybe it wouldn't be meaningful to create the fourth assembled one, but your application would behave as if having the three of them, you have the whole sort.
or probably through the application, we can trigger an event of assemble, right? So I have all the necessary NFTs in my wallet. I go to the platform and I trigger the assemble, and that joins the NFTs, and that takes away the NFTs from my wallet as separate entities and gives me the complete whole, right? So we need to approve that
So it would
transaction.
captivate the 3 ones into a smart contract, like burning them in a way?
Probably, yeah, something like that. Give me the complete whole, and I will need to approve that transaction, right? So
Okay.
that way I wouldn't be violating the property of the individual, something like that.
Great. So this concept of burning it is feasible technically, right?
Yeah.
Capturing them. So as long as I think there's a datum, if you can't redeem them, is that it?
I think it will be done through the validator, because the datum is only including the script address, if I am correct. I'm trying
Okay.
to remember my Bluetooth, but yes,
Yeah.
it will be, I think, the validator, the one that will trigger that action.
Okay. Great.
So basically, what we're trying to do is to create this design pattern on Cardano, because it doesn't exist on the chains, and there are several use cases. The one about the crafting game is one, right? But there are several others. Last week, for example, we had Dimitri, and Dimitri thought of an idea of creating like a yearly holiday promotion. Like if you mint an NFT each month, at the end of the year, you would get like a Christmas present, like a larger NFT or more valuable NFT, right? So that would be for like promotions or restaurants, right? Restaurants, normally, if you go to a restaurant, they give you a card, but if you buy a milkshake or a hamburger, things like that, when you complete all of those things, you can get a free meal or something like that, right? So through composable NFTs, we could also do that. So to give like a commercial aspect or something like that. So this is where we are at the moment.
Oh, I had a question. So are the pieces like technically like, NFTs themselves, or is it like a different entity?
No, they are NFTs themselves, so they will have like a policy ID, right? So that way we can ensure they are individual. And the thing is, they will be tradable, right? So for example, if I have a bunch of handles, but I don't have a blade, maybe 2 handles is equal to a blade, right? Depending on how we manage the variety of the different components. And that way we can incentivize trading through a platform and collect fees that way.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be, is basically the same as you can own partials or pieces of, like, say, a Bored Ape. You divide it up in small pieces. So you have the full picture, and then you have the small pieces, and then each individual piece can be sold out, or they're already out there, and then as people buy the different pieces, you put together the Bored Ape, let's say. I'm just using that as an example. So in the end, once you have that Bored Ape, the whole Bored Ape NFT, then there will be like you were talking about, maybe you'll get some hamburger, or maybe it could be let's say a car dealership, Toyota, and there will be something like that, right?
The guys at ADAO made this proposal of fragmenting NFTs, right? You take a whole NFT and you create parts of it. But when they were discussing of how that process works, they said that once you have done this, when you have taken a pre-existing NFT and put it through this smart contract to create the fragments, it can never be recreated. So even if you were to buy all of the fragments of the Bored Ape, for example, you could never retrieve the original complete NFT, because when you lock it in the smart contract to fragment it, is a one-way trip, let's say, right? So composable NFTs have to be created from the beginning to be able to be assembled with other NFTs to create a larger whole, right? So we will not be able to take an existing NFT already there on Cardano and try to make it composable, because they wouldn't be follow the same pattern of design. So yes.
Okay, maybe you misunderstood me. What I meant is that if you have a picture, this is what the whole picture is going to look like. I'm going back to the Toyota again. Here's a picture of of the Toyota. When all of these NFTs are put together, then you have it. It's not like you're taking pieces off of there. Maybe
I mean,
Maybe I-
yeah, at the level of the ledger, it would be pieces, and maybe each piece would represent an image of the car, right? But that does handle of chain. I mean, that would be like whatever the media representation is not part of the logic of the NFT, right? That's external, and that could be whatever. Now, the thing that was the split or the major question there in the design document is last week, we were discussing about two possibilities, right? Creating the design pattern of the composable NFT, releasing that open source, or creating a platform to create to generate composable NFTs. And that would need to have some sort of revenue, right? Because we have to pay for servers and all of that stuff. So how do you guys feel? What do you think is most plausible?
Well, the first thing to say is we're going to need the standard first to then consider creating the platform, right? So probably we should start on validating that that's buildable, etc. And having that, on the other hand, why not create a platform? So the priority would be the standard and testing it and all that. So I'm not sure how I can contribute on technical level, maybe on a business analysis level, on speccing functionalities or something, but you let me know.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, that will be something we'll solve as we go. Right now, I think we need to concentrate on writing the document.
Okay.
I mean, there are two pieces to this, right? If we are to propose the pattern and the platform, if the pattern gets funded but the platform no, that's no big deal, right? Because at the end of the day, this is what we want to achieve. Now, if the other way around happens and the platform gets funded but not the pattern, then we will need to use funds from the development of the platform to build the pattern, and we will have money at the end of the day or something like that, right? So I think it's more risky to go with the two. Probably would be better to say just the pattern, Fund 10, and depending on how it goes, maybe Fund 11, a platform, right? And something like that, because we don't want to promise the two things at the same time, I would say. The good thing about the platform is that, well, ideally there are several projects behind this idea, right? That each of us have individual use cases that we want for this thing, right? But if we were to have a platform, we could have the network effects of having all of these NFTs under a single the trade in place, right? And because we have control of that trade in place, we can make sure that the royalties for the NFTs go only to the project that created that NFT, right? And that way it would be more fair. On Cardano, I don't think we can enforce royalties at the level of the entire ledger. So let's say if someone buys a composable NFT and they go and they sell it on JPEG Store, JPEG Store has no obligation to keep royalties to the originator, to the original creator, right? It has to be enforced on the platform itself.
There's nothing stopping you from making it open source later on. So, I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Yep.
Okay, so just to add one other thing to the mix of options in between platform, standard or platform, I'm going to drop in the chat, like I've pointed out almost every time I speak. I'm not really sure. I'm still finding my bearings, but this type of platform is something that I'm looking at this one, for example, for my NFT project to help me interact. So it's basically a blockchain API of sorts, but it's not that, sorry, it's more like on the front end. I can use this type of libraries to give orders, I think, to maybe to Dandelion or to that type of API. And what I'm trying to put in the equation is between just a standard or a whole JPEG Store alternative, we could partner up with some of these type of tools where we could make this type of tool compatible with our standard. And that would facilitate anyone to build platforms or so. we may want to do it, we may not, we want to avoid it, but it's just something to add to the mix as a middle ground.
Yeah, because I mean, for what I've seen of Mesh, they are like middleware between connecting the blockchain and connecting the front end, right? So you can create the transactions from there.
And it's really helpful for the users, for the developers. They can get in there, pre-configure some things, get a snipping of code, use that.
Yeah, because in the past you had to do everything manually and then try to connect it to the front end, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. So yeah, I mean, it is a great resource. But I think like you were saying, Lucas, I think standard should go first, or the design pattern. And once we have it out, then we can use it as a basis for a platform or whatever. But the important thing is having the capability first.
Okay.
I have to be honest, I've never seen this mesh, but I'm definitely going to look into it now. So. From what I can tell, the little I can tell, it's really good. It looks good.
Yeah.
It
Take
is
it for a
like
spin.
I forget what is the name of this thing on Ethereum. So it's like truffle, right? In truffle you can create.
I'm not an Ethereum person at all. I've never had it. No.
Yeah.
But I imagine so. Yeah. I've heard. Maybe we could mute Professor Dalton. I'm not sure.
Sure.
He's aware. Yeah. Probably it's the same type of tool. Yes. So I'm going to make some notes about the approach. And your challenge now is when you say we need to write the document, you mean the proposal. So, but I think what you're implying now is that we need to mature this Google Doc. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we have the challenges, we need to decide on which challenge, right? And we need to flesh it out a little bit more. And yeah.
Okay. Just going to make some notes on text here for a bit.
Then, I mean, I think obviously Dimitri is not here, and he was, I think, the most technical among of us, right? So I'll contact him separately and try to decide on a final draft. But we have 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks before proposals are open, so we have time. But yeah, so we can start filling in more details.
I also would like to suggest that, if possible, we not only meet in the after town hall meeting, because this group, we're working on a specific project, and there might be other people that are coming in and just have regular NFT questions. And so if you all agree, maybe we can find a day and a time that fits us all where we just discussed it. I know it adds another meeting to my schedule, but what do you think, Sebastian? Or what do you guys feel about it, everybody?
Yeah, I'm down to have like a actual scheduled time, like sometime like during the week. Just keep a schedule.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and even to add to that, I would suggest something more asynchronous where we can catch up, like one specific channel in one of you guys' servers or something, just for like a project. And
yeah,
it's up to you if you want to make it like based on role, or it's up to you. But I'm just thinking that my calendar, it's ridiculously full because I'm on a number of things, and I'm now having to move ones to fit others, but then I don't have any time to work, to concentrate on working. So yeah, I'm just reaching out to contemplate asynchronous collaboration a bit as well.
sure. Yeah.
Maybe an email list, or and I know people, like me, probably have 50 discords, So.
Yeah, but I think we can open a thread in our Discord, right? And then just add people there. For example, a thread in the brainstorming channel, and we can make it specific about this and then talk about
just speaking from my experience, I don't know how, Eric, you're managing it day to day, but I have like I don't know, 15, 20 more servers, but there's this batch of them where I'm collaborating that I cannot have red marks there. So I just clear all the notification except for that one channel. So that's what I will do probably with yours. Like I think Sebastian was telling me that your meeting goes through the core channel. So I have only notifications on that one. And now for this project, that's how I triage everything else. I can have hundreds of, I do have 208 here. So I just don't check those servers so much. Okay, do you think this will be okay, Eric?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, this is something I don't do in Discord, but absolutely something that I probably could figure out.
And I'm happy to help moderate to orient that a bit, because the thing is, for me, email is a whole nother can of worms, and it's just okay. Cheers.
No, you're absolutely right. No, I was just throwing out ideas. I mean,
Cheers, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes something sticks, and sometimes it just, no, don't do that, or yes, it's a great idea. But the more ideas you have, in the end, we'll always find people that are agreeing. Yeah. So
Cool.
no, I totally agree on this. That's perfect. I think so too. And then of course the document that Sebastian just sent, add to it, subtract to it, read through it, and I think Sebastian, you said something about that you will actually drafting this and then put it in as a proposal, right? Because I think, if I'm right, you've done a couple of proposals before.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the idea. I think we will need to contact the other people that joined last week and see where everyone stands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have enough support to try to do it.
Yeah. And then also one thing I did notice now with this funding is it's very important to promote. So once this one is clear and we have it in there, we need to start promoting, and because the less you promote, you don't get traction if you don't promote. And I'll definitely go ahead and start doing the promoting and all that kind of stuff, and I can put that on my plate. Yeah.
Are you guys going to Rare Bloom?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
on the other side of the Atlantic. I'm just going to Cardano Summit, and that's going to have to do.
Lucas, where are you?
I'm in Portugal, close to Lisbon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I work with a Swedish company too, so I will go to Sweden off and on, but that's a little bit higher up, a little bit different.
I was there just once for a few days in Stockholm. Okay, so I'm making some notes of this call. I have this habit, like almost like a project manager, to make bullet points and everything. So what I've noted so far is, like, in terms of deciding between just a standard or using a platform or creating a marketplace, we're probably not going to go with the marketplace for this proposal. And about the partnership with something like Martify Mesh, do we have decision so far, or an inclination of a decision?
I mean, do you mean contacting them to formalize some sort of partnership directly?
I don't mean the commercial partnership, but involving them or something like that. Maybe for later. Is that it?
No, I think the sooner the better, right? Because I think they have the knowledge, at least to help us with the front end. So I mean, if they're willing, I think that would be great. Okay,
so I'm going to reach out. I'm going to make that action for myself to reach out to one of the two people that I know, and I'm going to reach out to them there. Okay. And so we also spoke of creating a channel and finding time on our calendar, right? We're still doing that for like a half hour at least a week?
Probably next week. I'll send an email to everyone individually or a Discord message, and we can see the preferences. Okay, so in general, we'll meet on the NFT DAO calls and here, and we'll keep aligning for now. Probably a separate meeting, completely devoted to the topic. I think that's what I meant then. Should we create a Lettuce meet or something for that, or do you want to just discuss? I don't know what Lettuce is.
if we can do it in attachment to, let's say, the Tuesday or Friday meeting, so it's either before or after. That way you already, on the same topic and so on. I just want a real quick, boss. I'm sorry we're talking about all of this, and we will come to you. I understand that you want to learn more about creating NFTs. And I have a suggestion. If you don't know anything about NFTs, and if you have access to YouTube, for instance, or something like that, I would probably that's how I started. I didn't know anything about NFTs or how to create NFTs or anything like that. And I just went in on YouTube and I started looking around, and eventually I found some that really fit what I was looking for. And so, but if you want to, hang in here a little bit, we will finish this off, and then we will talk to you again. Is that all right?
Another question I had is, I mean, what do you guys think should be the end goal if we're going with designing the pattern only, right? So should we just get like a GitHub repo that's going to be the structure of the composable NFT? Or do we have to go the extra step of creating a minting API for this? Because I mean, not every project is going to be technical enough to take that repo and clone it. Probably some sort of minting API would be more useful for the vast majority.
Yeah, I would say if there was an API, we would actually, like, our team would probably use it, like, and trying to build a use case around it, like, immediately.
How do you feel, Lucas? Do you think a GitHub repo?
I've never heard of a minting API, so yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with Steven. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, it's like the thing that NFT Maker has, right? So in NFT Maker, you go to create NFT, you upload some image, and they take care of all the stuff on chain, right?
Okay.
And they give you your NFT. So creating something like that, only for composable NFT, let's say you want a composable NFT with 5 portions, you define what those 5 portions are, you upload images of what those things are going to be, and it just gives you your NFTs, right? You don't have to go on code and anything like that. And what do you guys feel?
Yeah, I agree. We should create one of those. If it bootstraps using them, especially, that's going to be facilitating adoption and promotion, right?
Okay, yeah. Sure, go ahead. Boas. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that well. What are your questions?
The first, I'm asking if we can have a template for NFT and for NFT. The second is if we can join NFT to a physical tree.
I mean, Steven put that in the chat, right? That has been done before. You would need to create probably a geotag location on GPS where the NFT tree is. And a template at the moment on Cardano, that's not a thing, right? Because you don't mint NFTs on Cardano like you mint it on Ethereum. So you would need to follow the instructions there on that developer portal. Or the other idea is you would go to something like NFT Maker again and create basically a user tool to create like, I don't know, 5 NFTs with the geotag locations of the trees. Not entirely sure if that's possible through them, but I think you can contact them directly if you have some sort of special use case and they can accommodate you. But yeah, and I mean, at the moment, there are not like templates or anything like that on Cardano.
Thank you.
Sure. Professor Dalton, any questions about composable NFTs?
Yes, and I took a look at the link that was there that showed the API, or maybe not the API, how you can create the file it looked like it might be something I could start diving into. Because what I'm trying to do is have an NFT as an ID for a student. I want to put an educational application to this, to where the student could have things attached to that NFT. Say, if they attended the class, it would monitor students' attendance. If they turned in their homework, would monitor that. There could be rewards for certain conditions by instructors. But and then to be able to maybe put this in a wallet, and I want to create educational token, and so all these things would interact together. I don't have the technical background, but I want to learn and maybe collaborate. And I'm thinking that if I can put something of substance together, I'd like to apply for maybe Fund 11. So any thoughts as to what you guys are doing? I was reading some of that documentation. It looks like you can attach business applications to an NFT. So I'm very new at this. Don't know what I'm talking about, but just trying to express what I'm trying to do here. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, sure. I think it's possible.
Go ahead, Sebastian. Sorry.
I was gonna say that I'll put my email on the chat, and you can contact me with those questions. And yeah, I think it should be possible.
I need to head out for another meeting, but yeah, see you guys. Next week is off, by the way.
At first they say off, and then they said there's gonna be one next week, right?
Oh.
At the end, Chris said. So I don't know.
I think next week it's on, and then we'll be off.
Okay, for sure.
That's what I understood. But
All right, but next week we probably just need to decide of a day. So let's put that on the agenda. Next week we'll decide on a date when we will meet.
Okay, makes sense.
Professor Dalton, I have a question for you here. So you're looking at each student will have their own NFT, and then you want to attach their accomplishment to that NFT, right?
That's correct. I'm Dean of the Financial Department at an online global academy. And what I'd like to do.
What you could do actually is that, for example, if the classes, remote classes are through Zoom or some sort of a video application, you can create an NFT token that it would grant to access if you can give you access to the call, right? So if you're trying to join the Zoom call, it would read your wallet. If you have that NFT, you're able to enter. And by recording every NFT that join, right? Every NFT will represent individual students. You could track who's attending class and who's skipping. And through that, you can create a record of how then the student attended, right? I'm not sure if that.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
I agree on that. And one thing I would probably do is actually looking into the DIDs, digital IDs, because a digital ID doesn't have to be an ID that follows you for the rest of the world, but it will follow you for your school, for instance, right? So if you create, when someone starts as a freshman, they start at the school and they get a digital ID on some kind of platform. And then that, whatever they do, it's like Sebastian said, you know, whatever they do will be attached to that DID. And in the future, if that kid goes to another school somewhere else, because that digital ID resides on the blockchain somewhere, and you know, and there are a couple of people out there doing these things, you actually take whatever you have done with you wherever you go. And you know, a digital ID doesn't have to be like a social security. It could be like a, you know, here, let me show you. I work for the University of Arkansas, so we all get these. Okay, does it show maybe here? So, and this becomes your university ID, right? So what you do is you create a digital ID online, and then you attach everything that, you know, there. And you know, that really depends on the school itself, but you can put everything of their attendance to their grades and to, you know, and go that way. Does it make any sense to you?
It does. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's been one of the issues is sometimes people come in the class that aren't signed up because we have freemium classes where people can come into certain classes for free. And since the ID, the Zoom ID hasn't changed much, people are finding their way into there that aren't paid students because we have the paid versions here. And then we're also moving towards giving degrees, certifications, doctorates, those kinds of things. And so we want to make sure that the student, and it's hard for the instructors to take and stop everything and look to see who's there. So it would be really cool to have that set up.
So with the digital IDs, you can pretty much what you can do, you know, most universities, either they have a fab or they will have like a card like I have at the university here. And when you create a digital ID, you know, that could become a QR code. So when they walk in through the door, they scan. And not only does it scan that they actually were there, but also if they are allowed to go to that class. I'm just going to try to go back here. Cardano has where are we? Atala Prison, for instance. Here, I'm going to pull this up for you. And oops,
Okay.
darn it. Copy. And this is something that I would, for your sake, go and take a look at because they actually are really good at. Darn it! I just did I come? Oh yeah, that is come up. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead and check them out, and you can contact them and talk more to them about this and creating a DID, because I think that's probably where you want to start. And then you want to start adding all of those classes and all that kind of stuff. And I think, if I'm not completely wrong, those classes and everything can be created as NFTs.
Oh, nice.
And maybe Sebastian can fill in on that a little bit better. I don't understand why. I think, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. It should be Atala Prism. Drop the app thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to post it again. There we go. Here we go. That's the right address. I apologize.
No
but
problem.
yeah, so Sebastian can probably fill you in on creating an NFT specific for a class. And each class for each semester can actually have their own NFT that then you can attach to your DID. But this is just a suggestion. So
Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much.
just to add to injury here, DIDs are something that people are talking about very much in the metaverse space. And so because DIDs can follow you in your metaverse too. So that is something that's very interesting.
Yep.
That is interesting. Thank you.
Sure. So I don't know, any last things, guys? We're almost been an hour, so I don't know.
Do you think we could add the actions to this document, or do you think I could share my notes with you on what we're doing? Maybe I can drop them in our channel. That's the simplest way, right?
Yeah, I think that would be better.
Yeah, so if you create that and tag us, I can drop what we spoke today there and keep that as a log.
Yeah, I will do
Yeah,
that. Perfect.
great stuff. Okay.
Yeah, maybe creating a space where we can drop documents in would also be something that we can put on the list, because we are going to be,
if we do that, we're probably gonna have to use the NFT DAO cloud server. So yeah, I will have to add you that, guys, there.
Okay.
And probably we're gonna start using Element. Element is an open source messaging protocol. Yes, because we want to move away from centralized services.
100% agree with that. Yeah, looking forward to help try test and build that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well,
Great.
Boaz, do you still have any questions, or are you still confused? Or I understand that if you're new into this could be very, very confusing. I'll go back to what I said before. YouTube a little bit how to create an NFT, and you will see there's quite a lot of people out there creating different kind of NFTs, and that gives you an idea about how they create. They might not fit you or what you want to do, but it gives you an idea how to create NFTs. Does that make any sense for you?
We've spoken before, I believe. Did you get funded, boss? Your NFT trees?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, we have been funded. Intidano, yeah, NFT for erosion control. We have been funded.
Congratulations there.
Thank you.
So I'm just as a cheat, if you want to play around with creating NFTs as a user almost, you can just go to this address that I'm dropping in there. I don't know if you guys approve of this because it's really cheating, yeah, but you can really just drag an image in there, fill in the metadata, and mint your NFT on the wallet, on Game Changer wallet. Okay. So
This is a good place to begin. You
Yeah.
you learn from there, and then when you start wanting to build on the Cardano, at least you have an idea.
and also you can use Eternal to explore the technical details of your wallet. And let me just drop you another link here, which is some YouTube sessions that I'm doing with some friends, some learners. And there on that link tree, you'll find a playlist where we go over exactly what I'm mentioning. So creating a game changer, going into Eternal, looking into details of your NFT. It's as much as I know, it's shared there. Okay. Great.
Sure, you can contact us anytime. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, my contacts are in there as well.
Okay, then.
Okay.
There is nothing else. Yes, so we'll continue with this. Professor Dalton, I put my email there in the chat, so if you have further questions or you want to join our little project of composable NFTs, happy to do so. The same to you, both. I'm sorry again if I'm not pronouncing correctly. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Have a great week. Bye.
So like
Wow.
like
What are we recording? Everybody.
Hello.
Oh, hi Seb, was that you? I guess.
yeah, it's always like the kindergarten to first grade and kind of a pattern. Instead of giving the full responsibility to start with 100 reviews. Yeah, I see the ladder.
Acá, que debería tenerlo, pero mis notas se pagaron también.
Hola, hola.
Entonces, hey, Sebas, ¿cómo estás?
Ahí nomás, otros no me fondearon.
Ah, eso escuché, sí, te escuché por quinta vez o por cuarta vez.
Sí, cuarta.
Sí, hombre. Pero tú estás por la razón que es, o sea, es construir. Así que yo entiendo, pero vean. Sí. Te estaba consiguiendo la dirección de la hora de Jimbo Labs, déjame la busco. Y sí, de esa manera puedes venir puedes
Aquí
venir
encontré el calendario. Los martes.
Exacto, esa misma. A esa hora hay un playground, y en ese playground estamos todos. Pues todo el mundo llega ahí. Hay otra parte que es de construcción, que ya se reúnen, nos reunimos los miércoles, los jueves y a veces los viernes. Es en la mañana, como lo ves ahí también. Entonces simplemente te agendas y vienes y sin problema.
Perfecto, ahí
Sí,
estaré.
buenísimo. Ya. Muy bien. ¿Cómo te fue en tu sala, Sebas?
Más o menos. La semana pasada tuvimos una discusión sobre traer un nuevo tipo de NFT a Cardano y dijimos que esta semana íbamos a tratar de hacer la estructura de la propuesta con los proyectos que estaban, pero ninguno se unió, así que estuve
Ya, ya, ya.
con nueva gente y hablamos de otra cosa, pero bueno,
Y
no
me
sé.
imagino que conservaste los contactos de
Sí,
todos
sí,
ellos.
a ver,
Claro.
les voy a escribir, pero no sé.
Ujú. Ya, ya, no, todo como todo, ¿cierto?
Ojalá no me
Así
toque solo
funciona.
hacer la propuesta, porque,
Bueno, pero no la has abierto todavía.
oh, sí,
Hey,
ya,
Dani,
yo,
Vamos a
por
hablar.
cierto, ¿ustedes se conocen o no? ¿Ustedes se conocen?
No, creo que nunca hemos hablado directamente.
no lo
Bueno, muy
creo.
bien. Bueno, valga la oportunidad. Dani, Sebastián lleva bastante tiempo pues, en la comunidad, está en este momento con Emurgo, desarrollando también con NFT DAO en los proyectos. Cuéntanos un poquito de ti, Sebas, y luego Dani nos cuenta un poquito, le cuentas un poquito a Sebas qué haces.
Sí, yo soy Sebastián, soy de Bolivia. He estado 2 años ya en Catalyst y he estado trabajando en Murgo 1 año y medio y he estado 1 año y medio también en la NFT DAO. Y básicamente lo que nosotros hacemos en NFT DAO es crear herramientas alrededor de NFTs que las lanzamos como open source. Cualquiera puede clonarlo. Y la idea es de la NFT DAO es si las personas no pueden utilizar las herramientas, tal vez no tienen el conocimiento técnico y quieren que les ayudemos, en ese momento es si les cobraríamos, ¿no? Esa sería como la fuente de ingresos. Pero si tienes la capacidad técnica o conoces gente que puede hacerlo, simplemente puedes clonar las cosas y usarlas tú mismo.
Claro, claro, qué bien, qué interesante.
Qué bien. ¿Cuántos son ustedes en NFT DAO, Sebastián?
11 en este momento.
Qué bien. Y de LATAM o de todas partes.
Yo soy el único ahorita de Latinoamérica. Antes estaba Icario, que era de Brasil, pero se
Ya no.
enfermó bien serio, digamos, y tuvo que pausar.
Ya, ya. ¿Quién es la parte técnica?
En este momento es Jamie, un chico de Japón, y yo.
Ah, qué bueno, qué bueno. ¿Cómo funciona, por ejemplo, si uno quiere un board, un programa, un proyecto de NFT a Cardano, que lo quiere traer de otra parte y no quiere hacer la parte técnica? Ustedes lo hacen.
Dependiendo de cuál es el proyecto, ahorita tenemos un portal que permite crear NFTs. Entonces, si el proyecto son simplemente NFTs que se quieren revender, lo podemos pasar
Ujú.
por ahí y le mandamos todos los NFTs a la billetera de la persona que lo quiere crear. Y dependiendo de cómo quiere hacerlo, si quiere pagar de frente, sí, o si no, un porcentaje de la reventa también puede ser, dependiendo
Ah, ya, ya, ya,
de la
ya.
persona.
Y royalties también, me imagino.
No cobraríamos royalties
No, ok, ok, ok.
porque no se pueden enforzar en Cardano las royalties. Tiene que
Ujú.
ser directamente dependiendo del mercado.
Claro, claro, claro. Dani, yo sé que tú debes irte, pero sí que sería genial que hablaras un poquito a Sebas en que estás. Y
Sí,
yo sé que iban a salir cosas interesantes para el proyecto México.
justo. Pues o sea, yo soy Daniel, soy aquí de la Ciudad de México. Este es, de hecho, mi primer fondo 9. Nosotros tenemos una empresa, un protocolo que se llama Metera, que es un protocolo DeFi en el que estamos tratando de ser una plataforma que permite que la gente cree instrumentos financieros que se llaman portafolios tokenizados, que son como ETFs y son índices de la industria, índices por ciertos sectores, NFT marketplaces o lo que sea. Y fuera de eso queremos construirle una base de impacto a nuestro protocolo, trabajando en un rating open source de impacto y alimentándole la información a nuestro protocolo para pues, medir el impacto que están teniendo esas inversiones y de alguna manera a través de la DAO recompensar a aquellos portafolios que más impacto puedan generar, social o ambiental o lo que sea. Entonces, sí, ahorita metimos una propuesta para el fondo 9, la verdad es que nos fue súper mal con el downvoting. Tuvimos, creo que 114 millones de votos en downvote, que sí, la verdad fue un poco difícil tomar la
¿Cuánto tuvieron?
noticia.
Ujú.
20 millones de upvote, que no llegábamos al threshold de todas maneras, pero pues el downvote es lo que nos sorprendió muchísimo. Y también aprendimos mucho de cómo llevar el Catalyst y teníamos una propuesta en el challenge de DApps Integrations, que era el más difícil y el más competitivo. Entonces, pues, preparándonos para el fondo 10 y todo. Y ahorita, Sebastián, estoy encargado de organizar con otra persona el Cardano Summit aquí en la Ciudad de México. Y pues estoy buscando personas que quieran tener un espacio para hablar, ya sea por Zoom o aquí presencial. Y pues Juan me quiere presentar a unas personas también.
Entre ellas es Sebastián.
Oh, qué
Exacto.
bueno, perfecto. También si quieres, te puedo poner en contacto con el que está organizando el Town Hall en Tbilisi. Y así tal vez pueden organizar recursos y esas cosas para que los dos
Tib-
puedan hacer sus conferencias.
Tbilisi,
Perfecto.
cuéntame de Tbilisi.
Tbilisi en Georgia, ¿no? Es donde recientemente la Fundación de Cardano anunció que van a hacer esa venta de vinos junto al Ministerio de Agricultura de Georgia. Y por eso justamente van a hacer el Cardano Summit en Tbilisi. Va a ser como uno de los satélites principales. Y yo conozco a la persona que está organizando eso. Y Daniel, si
Ah,
no quieres
buenísimo.
conocer a él, te lo presento y así ustedes pueden
Por
cambiar
supuesto.
recursos y eso.
¿Por dónde te
Buenísimo.
puedo contactar? ¿Por
Ah,
Telegram?
pongo mi mail aquí en el chat.
Perfecto. Muy bien. Pues te escribo, Sebastián.
Dale.
Muchísimas gracias por eso. Ahora sí los tengo que dejar.
Dale, dale, adelante, para eso estamos.
Chao, chao.
Muchas gracias, Juan.
Excelente, y gracias por venir a Dani.
A
Muchos,
ustedes.
muchos éxitos, estamos en contacto. Ahí nos
Igual,
comunicamos.
claro.
Dale, dale. Ya, qué bien. Sí, creo que hay mucho por hacer. O sea, uno no puede esperar que en cuanto a tu votación es triste, pues pero yo pienso que el problema no es uno, el problema no es el sistema, aunque obviamente necesita reparaciones, es más bien como el enfoque de uno ante las cosas. Si todos hiciéramos lo que tú estás haciendo, yo estoy seguro que, ahora pienso que lo que tú estás haciendo es genial, pero ahora en este momento hay que tratar de buscar otras formas de financiación diferentes a Cardano, ¿no? A Catalyst, dentro de la misma infraestructura de Cardano. Entonces, de pronto eso ayuda a abrir el ecosistema también, a que la gente se mueva un poquito más y de pronto tengan, ya a este momento no creo que haya mucho que arreglarle a tus propuestas, me imagino, no sé, tengo que mirarlas, que de hecho lo quiero hacer, y de pronto abrir esa ventanita, ¿me entiendes? Una ventanita de segunda mano, pienso, no sé. ¿Qué
Sí,
crees
sí,
tú? ¿Qué crees tú
tenemos
que sea? ¿Cómo te fue en votación?
5 millones a favor, 95 en contra.
Eso dice algo. Ahí estamos viendo un- una situación que se puede manejar a través de, pues, se puede discutir, ¿me entiendes? Se puede discutir porque no es ese downboarding, ya, no tengo argumentos para decir mucho, pero creo que pues no es lógico, no es lógico. Y en las otras, y has mirado comparativamente con los otros fondos.
En los otros fondos siempre tuve más votos a favor, simplemente nunca tenía el score para entrar entre los financiados.
Ya, ya,
Es la
ya.
primera vez que, digamos, mi propuesta ha sido rechazada completamente.
Y no eres el único, hay otros como lo escuchamos ahora, hay muchos otros que tienen ese tipo pues debería haber un momento en que el downvoting ya no funciona, porque ¿qué sentido tiene downvote si tú tienes 5 millones y te van a downvote 100,000? Sí, ¿verdad? No tiene sentido, de pronto ya, ahí, no sé, pienso que hay algo que hacer, pero sí, 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 sí. Muy bien. Entonces, bueno, ¿tienes algo más que mencionar? ¿Cómo te ha ido con Emurgo?
Ah, todo bien, todo bien. Creo que vamos a hacer otro festival por el Fondo 10 de ideas. Entonces, si vas a proponer, ahí te puedo avisar para que te anotes.
Qué bueno, Sebas. No tengo en mente proponer realmente. No creo tener el espacio de tiempo para que sea sustentable la idea de proponer. Me tocaría sacrificar muchísimas cosas que no puedo y ni estoy dispuesto a sacrificar. Entonces, de pronto, tristemente no voy a poder hacerlo todavía. Voy a ver, en la medida en que vea cómo cambian mis cosas, cómo cambia mi ambiente. Y ahí, de todas maneras, siempre todos los fondos hago esa evaluación y realmente llego a la conclusión de que a lo mejor no es directamente eso, aunque obviamente es un elemento muy importante, pero no tiene que ser de esa manera siempre. Entonces, sí. Tú vas
¿Y
a
cómo
seguir,
estás,
tú sigues.
cómo estás ahí con el huracán? ¿Te va a llegar a dónde estás?
Bien, yo estoy en Florida, estoy en la parte más west del sur de la Florida, tal vez la parte más west del sur de la Florida. Estamos casi en los Everglades, casi en los pantanos, en la salida de la I-75 hacia Naples. Hemos recibido ráfagas, hemos recibido mucha lluvia, pero no pasó por acá. Entró mucho más arriba por el lado del Golfo, ¿no? Yo estoy al lado del Golfo, pero, estoy en el sur de la Florida del East, pero la parte más west, ¿no? No sé si te explico bien. Entonces no me afectó muchísimo. Pues no. Obviamente
Perfecto.
hemos estado acá, los muchachos no tuvieron colegio y ya, y mucha lluvia y viento. Pero no significativo hasta el punto de tener que colocar no hubo necesidad. Entonces es una buena señal. ¿Tú
Ah,
estás
bien.
dónde ahora?
No, en Bolivia, Bolivia todavía.
Ah, ya. ¿Cómo te fue con el viaje a Argentina?
No, eso va a ser ¿cuándo viajo? El 7 de octubre.
Ah, qué bien. ¿Lograste resolver el asunto de los pagos? El asunto personal que tenías.
Sí, sí.
Qué
Estoy,
bueno, qué bueno.
estoy por PayPal, pero ni modo.
Ya, bueno, ahí despacio. Ahí se van haciendo las cosas. Muy bien. Pues sí, creo que podemos parar ahora. Ya tenemos las 3:15 y siempre me sacan de acá, siempre las 4 y pasa Dani, hey, estamos cerrando. Así que bueno, no dejemos que sea esta vez la próxima vez que pase. De todas maneras, estamos en contacto, estamos en el pin del fondo 9. Noviembre 2 empieza el fondo 10. Así que tenemos todo este tiempo para irnos preparando, ir haciendo cositas las personas que quieran proponer. Y
Una
de
cosa más.
pronto,
¿Tú
sí,
entendiste si hay town hall la próxima semana o no hay? No entendí eso al final.
sí, claro, claro,
Iban a
dígame la
tomarse
fecha.
una semana de descanso, no sé qué cosa dijo
Oh,
Dani.
no, bueno, Chris, déjame yo miro
Sí, Chris, que una semana se iba a tomar de descanso.
Ok, no sabía, pues no, bueno, a lo mejor no, estaba en otra cosa en el momento en que lo dijo. Verifiquemos eso, yo miro lo busco primero. Me lo pasé. Muchas ventanas abiertas. Ok. Ok, el octubre 5. No, va a haber town hall normalmente.
Bueno,
Septiembre, octubre 5, sí, desde luego. Sí, sí, sí. Tenemos town hall. Entonces, bueno, nos vemos la próxima semana.
dale.
Si puedes pasar por la TAM Town Hall, es mañana a las 21:30.
Sí.
Guti, sí, que te queda más fácil a ti que está cerquita. Muy bien. Bueno, un
Nos
saludo
vemos.
grande, pues estamos en contacto. Vale, cuídate.
Chao, chao.